All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Hey.
Subculture. Tonight, I have a very special guest all the way from Canada. I want you guys to welcome Shaun Campbell. He is the president of the IDFA, and that is the International Drug Free Athletics, right? So you're up there in Canada
Yes, yes,
promoting shows.
yes.
Oh, whoop.
Right.
Sorry. I had you turned down. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, am I there?
Yep, you're here.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yes. I'm so glad you're here because there is something I want to talk about that I think is
Okay.
really innovative that you actually put into place last year. You
Yes.
hosted an online natural bodybuilding competition.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit
Are you
about
there?
it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
a
good.
little bit delayed here. Sorry, I'm all the way out in Canada, right? So, yeah. No, I guess the reason we did it because, well, in Canada we were like basically all the venues were shut down. We were able to have shows a little bit at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, but with limited audience. But when it came closer to the end of the year, my show was in December. As it got closer and closer, and I really wanted to have a show, as it got closer and closer, the venues started to shut down completely. So we came to a complete lockdown where we couldn't hold a show anywhere. Even with limited audience, we couldn't have one. And I was put into a tough spot about 13 days out. And I was so adamant about having a show, especially since it would be my only show in 2020. I said, "There's no way I'm going out of 2020 with no IDFA bodybuilding show." So we put it online. At first, I was worried people would think I was crazy, but every good idea is crazy at first until it's not, right?
Right.
So so that's kind of what got me starting with the online show.
So let me
Sorry.
ask you this.
Yeah.
How did the athletes react to this?
Yeah, better than expected. I guess at first, because I know, because I'm a hardcore competitor myself. So even the idea of an online show at first sounded a little bit crazy, even to myself. But the more I talked about it, and the more I kind of started like figuring out how it was going to work, I talked to a few of the judges. The more I was trying to sell it on to sell the idea to the judges, the more I was selling it to me. So I was becoming like a because it's really hard to be a promoter and promote something you don't strongly believe in. But the more I talked about, the more I was believing. And then when I started really believing it, that's when I went online and said, "Hey, we're making this online. Bear with me. Support the IDFA show. We're going to make it work." And it did work. I'll tell you that a little bit more in a second. Sorry.
No, yes. So it gave a chance.
Sorry.
Now,
Yeah.
this is interesting too. You didn't just have competitors from Canada. You had competitors from how many from all over?
Well, actually, it wasn't as all over the top, but it was a competitor all the way from Italy, though, which was really cool, which kind of gave me an idea of, okay, this online thing lets you, I don't know, get the attention of athletes that wouldn't possibly be able to do an IDFA show normally. But we have had, like, just like if you've been to our shows, people do, sometimes you get the odd person who will travel really far, but typically for a show, the people only travel about like 3 hours away, typically, right?
Right.
But once in a while, you get people that travel really far.
So
So
this is
with being online, yeah.
say this is something I want to definitely put out there is that so now you have three online shows, correct, for 2021?
So far, yeah, yeah. And if things, because in Canada we're still like pretty locked down. Like I still can't rent a venue right now. So if we keep going like this past July, I'll have a September online show. I'll have an October online show. I'll keep putting out online shows as long as I have to.
So the message that I want to give my viewers is enter these shows. If you are prepping for the stage, why not take the extra time to do the video, take the pictures, and enter an online competition?
Because one of the it's a lot easier. I guess once you do the show or you watch one of the live shows, like the live show we did in December, if you take a look at it, you get an idea what it is. Even the judges at first weren't sold on the idea until I talked to them. And that's when I was trying to sell them on the idea. That's when I really became passionate about the idea. And once the show was over, the judges even talked to me after saying, "You know what? You really pulled this off. It wasn't as hard to judge as we thought it was going to be." With the pictures they submitted, because we had full body shots of each pose submitted, and then with the video alongside of that, with them doing all the mandatory poses or quarter turns, depending on the division, it really gave the judges a lot to look at, and it really allowed them to assess the physiques, and they did a great job judging it. And like I said, with these online shows, it's really cool. We have official judges judging the events. These are official IDFA events, and we're going to ship you out official medals. So all the medallions and everything, we shipped them all out. The one we even shipped it out to Italy, and she got the medal and the hoodie and everything. The hoodie I'm wearing, we give all the athletes that compete. So hey, I should send you one. Remind me after this is over.
I would love one. I would love one. So
yeah. We got one. We got the women's one with the pink logo.
That's right. I saw that in one of your YouTube videos. I'm actually looking for the show. Cool. I was going to show them like the format. It was really neat how you put it together, how you took all the different videos and pictures and you put them together, and you did like a voiceover. You were like an MC.
I know, I'm crazy. I took it so far. It was crazy. I tried to run like, what's really exciting about it that I thought was one of the coolest thing. I actually, it took me about 30 hours of editing just to do it. But the coolest part is I didn't get the results out to the athletes, okay? What I did is I created a show for them, and then I sent them the YouTube link. So they had to watch the show and be nervous, just like they're really competing, not knowing who they competed against, not knowing what place they got. They could sit down with their family or friends or whatever. And some of them actually had like little YouTube parties at their house where they brought their friends and family over and they watched the show to see how they did. Because they didn't know either. Because that's a great, I could have just posted the results and said, oh, here's the results, done. No, I wanted to make sure every element to keep it as live show as possible.
Oh, wait, this is your...
that's Chuck on there.
Oh, right, that was your, oh yeah, that was Chuck. your
no, that's a cool video.
Interview.
Though. Chuck is like the grandfather of natural bodybuilding. Yeah.
I was watching that on your YouTube channel. He's been in what, like 75 shows or something crazy like that.
Oh no, way more than that. No, 134.
Oh, that was the record he was trying to beat.
I did with the music.
Yeah.
That was years ago. And I talked to him before years ago, and he said, "Oh, 75 was the goal." But then he just did 134 shows. The only thing slowed him down was last year, right? Right. If it wasn't last year, he was at 134 shows. So that's really cool.
That was awesome. That was fun.
Interview with him.
So the other component to this is I wanted to ask you, when we're like, say I wanted to enter your contest, your online contest, how current does the video or pictures need to be? Like say let's see, what's your next one? It's going to be in May, right?
No, this is a good question. So it's May 15th. So how we did it, because I wanted to make sure that people prepped and peaked for a show date. Because you can't like just submit old stuff, because that wouldn't be competing. That would just be a photo contest.
Exactly.
So so the night before, so for the last show we did, for example, on May 4th, so the last show was December 13th. So December 12th, like late that evening, I sent out a code word to all the athletes. And at that point, it was called Warrior, because they were all warriors to make it to stage through all this crazy times. So I had them just take a picture of them holding up the sign with the suit that they're going to be wearing, or the posing suit or whatever, and like the background where they're going to be taking their pictures. And then they just put it aside and they do all the coordinations and that. Does that show up, whatever just popped on my screen?
That was.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. That's smart. That was a good way to do that.
Oh, I'm just curious. Does things pop up? Because I had like a notification pop up on my screen. Does that show up on your screen?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Because it was like a weird notification. It's like oh no. It's like that doesn't. We can put it out there. That might be a different interview, but sure. So I have them send in all the photos, full body photos, head to toe. So if you're doing a side chest, and we want to make sure there's no fancy editing, no crazy lighting, but they can take it wherever they want. It could be their living room, the gym, or wherever. One guy took it in the gym, one guy took it in his basement, which adds a cool element to the show as well. It kind of gives character to all the photos. It's not just your boring cookie cutter photos. Like these guys, someone took it in their living room. Some of them, it's just crazy. Oh yeah, that's the People's Champ Award there. Which was a cool idea we did after the show too. I basically posted all the athletes that did the show, and I had so now their friends and family can vote in and say who they want to win the People's Champ. So it's kind of like that. That's a voting contest. That was just fun. But it's a cool vibe, and it also creates a lot of excitement on YouTube, right? So they have to comment the person's name, and I count it all up. So she's a transformation win. No, she got second transformation, but won the, because transformation is a great category too.
It really is.
So they send in, what are they saying? They send in all their photos and the video. And what the video was, the beautiful part of the video, because you know we can play around editing with, I'm sure you're probably more tech savvy than me, so maybe you can alter a video, but most people can't play around the video too much. It's the photos we're worried about with filtering and stuff. So I just to make sure, I don't want filtering stuff on the photos, but just in case there's some craziness, I want you to send a video as well, because the judges mostly like the video versions. It kind of really gave an idea of the physique, but the photos were good for comparing it, like doing solid comparisons, and for me to crop and put on the podiums, right?
Right. That's what I was just looking for.
That was cute.
Yes. I loved how you edited it all together. And
it was
really
hilarious. It's in third place, and they pop them on the podium. At first I thought this looks so cheesy. Like, I don't know if I should put this out, if I'm going too far with this, but I think cheesy's not, there's nothing wrong with cheesy once in a while. I think it was fun because people actually screen grabbed it and put it up on the website of them getting first place or third or whatever they had on the podium. And I don't have podiums at my shows, but I have a podium if I go online. So there's so many things I can do online that I can't do with a real show.
Right.
So I was like, I think it's awesome, but I gotta just sell the masses on it, right? Because everyone's, obviously change is tough. And in these times we have to change, right? So
That's right. That's right. Especially where you guys are. If you're still shut down, I'm sure the athletes really
nuts.
appreciate this.
You're in Florida, right? So you guys are just going butt wild or whatever.
We just kind of do our own thing down here.
Do you have to, like, are the gyms hard? Like, is it just pretty much normal in the gym right now? Like, to go to the gym, is there rules or?
Social distancing.
That's it. Oh, wow.
That's it.
The funny joke is I've been social distancing for years, right? So I'm kind of to myself, right? So anyways.
No, you're good. So you have your three shows. Are all three of them international? Like, can anybody from anywhere in the world enter all three of these shows?
No, well, all of my shows will be, but I'm doing the one in May as a Canadian championship because I've never done a true national championships, right? So this is and it gives me an opportunity to do that too. I couldn't do that if we weren't doing online. I can have every province have a championship on the same day, and then the winners all compete for the national show on the same day. And that's not possible. You can't do this, but with online we can.
Okay.
If people believe in, and actually this show is actually going very, very well. Like I have competitors from almost every province represented at this point, already registered.
Oh, that's awesome.
So people are coming on board for this. And yeah, the other ones, June 5th and July 24th, those are open to anyone. So if you could be in Italy, Germany, USA, you just have to take and if you have questions, like, by all means, contact me or check out that Why Compete in Online Bodybuilding Competition video that's on YouTube there. Kind of gives you a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm new to Facebook Live, so how do I get it on my screen? I have my computer. I might have my desktop here. Do I just do you know where I go to find this?
Yeah. If you want to go to your personal page.
Okay, I'm there.
And hit refresh. You should. Let's see here. You should have some live feed. If all went well.
I'm clueless. Sorry, I'm not watching it, so I kind of want to watch it in case people are asking questions.
Yeah, of course. Let me double check here for you. Yes.
No, I really love how you got the images coming up and stuff. Okay, I see this.
Yeah, you're on there. So you have one comment here.
Click on my story? Do I click on my stories to see it, or where do I go?
No, you go right to your Shaun Campbell Facebook page. Right to the main page. Yep. And scroll down and you'll see the live feed.
It's right there in my oh my God,
sir.
That's cool as hell. Okay. Sorry. I'm so used to Instagram. I never use Facebook. I promote on Facebook because that's just what I do. But I don't go on here this way. Okay, I see. Okay, I see a comment. So now I'm gonna have to get these bad boys out. This is what happens when you're recording.
The dreaded readers. I'm on my way there, trust me.
Well, she just saying that here in Ontario, it's social distancing and vigorous cleaning as well as masks. And she said something about being BS, but I don't want to get it. But that's. So there is one comment.
Yes, sir. So let me ask some other questions that like an athlete might have about
Yeah.
this. You kind of went over the guidelines, and we have three dates. Let me throw up. There's one that's going to be up in July as well. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're an
Yeah.
athlete, especially here in the States, and you're prepping for the stage, I think it would be so much fun to enter an online contest. And the reasons I would have to do that as an athlete would be, first of all, there's an opportunity to compete, which we love to do, obviously, but there's
Oh yeah.
also the opportunity to receive feedback from judges, from international judges, from judges that have never seen you, never put eyes on you. And I think that kind of feedback can really make a competitor better. Or, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I love getting feedback from fresh eyes. It's not the same
Yeah, yeah, and
judges.
plus then you don't have to worry about it because sometimes people get concerned that they compete in the same show over and over and over again. The judges continuously see them, that they're not getting maybe a fair look or something because
Right.
they've seen them before or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or to see how you stack up against other athletes because maybe you're competing in a circuit where you're with the same, because maybe at the top level or so you see the same athletes at the shows all the time, or same like trainers and all that stuff backstage, and same judges see you. This is something different because I even know I compete too, so I walk the walk or talk the talk or however you say it, and you do the same. So so yeah, so I'm totally open to competing in lots of organizations, and
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of crazy for me as as a promoter to say, because a lot of promoters are very like, oh, do my organization. They won't talk about other ones. I'm totally open to other ones. I compete in the States in about 3 or 4 different organizations. So
So what's this show right here? Where were you here? Because I know you said, yeah, I had to throw that up there.
that's my favorite one. Well, it's not my favorite, but it's one people see. It's a while back, to be honest with you. It's not like I did it yesterday, but that's 2000. Just let me think. Oh my God, it's way back. That's 2006, but I guess I I keep using it. It's terrible, right?
No, I think
So
that's
that's
great.
it's terrible that I'm using it though. That old. So it's 2006. It was the Ontario Naturals Championships in Canada here. So,
Nice.
but it's one of my faves.
Well,
So
I
I keep
say
using
this,
it.
I know, I say this to competitors all the time. Like, you did that. Like, you accomplished that. Don't ever discount your accomplishments, no matter how much time goes by, or no matter how
No,
much
I
your
hear you.
body changes over time. You still
Are you?
achieved
My
something.
body hasn't changed. No, it has. So I'm just joking. It has. Okay, it has. Realistically, we do
Well,
get older.
well, that's a message I really have to hit home for the girls, because they get all freaked
No, it's
out.
tough. Body image, especially after
Yeah.
competing, like, especially for the well, men too. I had a guy who you would never guess had like issues with his physique and stuff after the fact, like, and the guy looks amazing, and you're looking at him and he thinks he looks like crap. It's like, oh my God, you look, he looks 10 times better than me, and he's like complaining about himself. So
Yeah, that's a real
it's
thing.
tough.
Athletes go through that, like body dysmorphia.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm.
I never really did it because when I first started and all this stuff, like we accepted that you're gonna get a little chunky in the off season, then you're gonna get dialed in for the shows. That's just normal, and we didn't like think nothing of it. But now I don't know, it's a little bit different. I think a lot of people are really want to have that stage look at all times, which is kind of tough. You can people can do it if you're very disciplined and close to it, but you're never gonna be like how you
Right.
look the day of the
And
show.
I blame social media for that. I think it puts a lot of pressure
Maybe
on
yeah, so yeah,
athletes.
that's probably true because when I was a hardcore competitor, there was no social media, right? There
Mhm.
was no internet. Like there was an internet, but I wasn't on it much.
So let me ask you this: How
Yeah,
did the IDFA even come about? I know that this is your organization. You're the president, the owner, the
yeah.
founder. Tell me how that even came. How did how did that happen?
How did it come about?
Yeah. What was?
Well, just I launched it in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll tell the true story. I don't know if I've ever even told anyone this because I kind of like try to say I just popped out of nowhere. I first got into this. It sounds weird to tell the true story like I was lying or something. I just never told it. I just not. It's a story I've never told, I guess.
Right. Right.
I got into it first of all because I used to go to the States in 2000 to about 2003 to compete in NGA shows, the National Gym Association, because they were the
Mm-hmm.
only national organization I heard about that I heard about back then. because it wasn't that big in Canada at that time back in 2000. So I went down there, and I was really passionate about drug-free natural bodybuilding, and I promoted my very first show in 2005. And that's when I say I launched the IDFA, but in fact, it was a sanctioned NGA show. It was their only and first ever Canadian NGA show.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but then when I did that, I just had, so I had a lot of, I guess by doing the show, my mind just started getting too crazy. At first, I wanted to promote a show, but then my mind just took off that I was going to do all this and that and this and that. And it's like, okay. Then I just decided, no, I'm just going to do it on my own. So the very next show was an IDFA show. And basically, probably a month after that, just based on the fact that what I wanted to do and my vision was a little bit different than what theirs was. And plus, I wanted to own it. So, so I came out with my own. But I always say 2005 is when I started the IDFA. But technically, I started with an NGA show. But I did launch the IDFA before the year was out. So I did start in 2005, the IDFA. But my very first show wasn't an IDFA. But after that, they were all IDFA.
Okay. Do you have other promoters that promote for you?
Crazy to say, but I don't. I basically do all the promotion, which is kind of crazy because it's tough to be a promoter when you're not present. Like I'm present at all the shows, but I mean when you're not present, like a local presence, say in like BC or something. But I do have people that really support the shows and they help out with doing like workshops and stuff like that for posing workshops. And with the social media, I have a presence because now I can reach everyone this way, right? So they do feel they still know me because they see me.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not, they see me on here. I'm everywhere.
So would you, I guess my next question would be, in your area, like, what is the concentration? Like, are there many natural bodybuilding shows taking place every weekend, or are there just a few throughout? Or, like, for instance, let me give you an example here in Florida. Between the natural and the non-tested shows, there's probably at least 1 or 2 shows every weekend somewhere in Florida. So what is the concentration where you're at?
That's the same here, not unfortunately, but it's just the things have changed, right? Before, when I first started back in 2005, probably for the first 5, 6, 7 years, like I was like one of maybe a couple organizations that ran shows, right? So I really for a while there, I had a real good hold of the natural bodybuilding scene. But then I guess because IFBB went with their natural stream, right? So those shows popped up. Now they're everywhere, right? So yeah, there's just like what you're saying. In some of the provinces, there's a show basically every weekend. Like in Ontario, there's when there's shows. Right now, there's no shows even happening.
Right.
And even last year, there was just random shows happening, and people were trying to follow all these rules. But prior to all this craziness, yeah, basically every weekend there's a show. So it's made things a lot tougher, but the strong survive, right? So if you're kind of in it and you're not in it, if you're not really in it to promote natural bodybuilding, you probably back out because it's competitive. But I'm in it. Well, they say in it to win it. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm fully committed. This is what I do. This is all I do. That's what makes it tough too during this crazy time, because the only thing I do is promote events, and then all of a sudden there's no events. So it's been a wild ride. That's why we went online, right?
You adapted that, and that's the story for today is adapting. And you did something in 2020, but you learned so much and you saw an opportunity to grow and make it even better for 2021. So you're going to continue to do the online shows. Now, will you continue to do them once you're back on stage?
Already the May. Yes. Yeah, the crazy part is the May show is way busier than the December show already. And we've still got, and people like to sign up last minute. So you got a whole bunch of people out there still competing. But yeah, I'm going to continue doing these because I like the reach that it gives me in the way, and it gives people opportunities. Because we have people, Canada, you see how some of these territories are like really far away. If you look how big Canada is, right? Some people can't make it to these IDFA shows, or even the States. And now, like, for example, you could jump online on May 15th. No, sorry, not May 15th, June 5th. If you want to. But
he's talking to you guys at home.
No excuses. If I ever see you competing, no, I'm talking to you. Oh. If I see you competing and I don't see your entry come in, I'm just joking. Just joking. But yeah, I'm going to continue doing these because I think it's created, because the crazy part is now the world's different. You're going to go to my website and you're going to see a thing called live events and online events. And that would never happen before. You just go there and see events. But now I have to, the funny thing is I'm calling them live events. When the hell did we ever call them live events? Are you going to a live bodybuilding show? What do you mean?
Right.
Like, that's crazy. We're going to a live show.
Yeah, like
People say, "Oh, wait, when are you doing the live shows?" Because now I got the live shows and the online shows, and I'm going to continue that all year. Like, that's my new thing from now on. Online is part of the IDFA.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So something new.
It's not going anywhere. I'm not just putting it there until this clears up and then they're gone. No, they're here. So
this is my second question. So do the athletes who win on your online shows, they're awarded the same awards as whoever competes on stage? But then let me ask you this: do you have like pros, or and if you do, where do they compete?
That's going to get a little tricky. No, I'm going to figure that out because right now I'm having a little bit. I know that a lot of the new competitors are very interested in these online shows. The hard part is getting you veteran competitors who are pros to do these online shows, right? Because I understand totally if you're a new competitor and you don't know much about it. This is like and you're younger and this is like the virtual world. This is normal. They're like, this doesn't bother them at all. Guys like me is bothers, right? Like 49-year-old guys that you want to get to send pictures in the video. They're like, okay, I've done like 14, 15 shows. I've never done this. This seems crazy.
Right.
But just like everything is crazy until it's not crazy, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we will have pro online divisions eventually. Like right now, I do for the Canadian show, I'm going to have a pro division on May 15th. So we already do have a few pros entered. So we will be doing it. But for those international ones, I want to get it out there for a bit first, get people comfortable with it. And then, because usually I only do a couple pro shows a year anyways. Like say usually I do like July.
And I have two more questions. This is like bodybuilding related. So drug testing at your live shows, what does that consist of?
Well, that's one of the biggest hurdles that we're gonna have to figure out like soon, right? For Canada, I could probably do something interesting in the future, like because I have a lot of contacts at all the provinces. We could do random urine testing, but even plus with COVID and stuff. Sorry, I don't want to say it on your video because it might not show, right? No. With the pandemic we're in, it's just even bizarre to like how we're gonna, even if we did like send people out to test people, how we're gonna do this, right? This is crazy.
So you're talking about the online, but so you do
the online
testing.
is gonna. Yeah, we typically, at our shows, we do random urine testing at shows, right? Live shows.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, but at the online ones, I have to believe that people with integrity compete in the IDFA and natural bodybuilding. And I think the sport of integrity is bigger than all the drug testing that takes place, because all that can be like, I just feel if you look at all the pictures of athletes that compete in IDFA, and then you look at other national organizations, look at the IDFA athletes, there was really never much of a question, because I think by the fact that I preach only natural bodybuilding, I don't have two streams of shows. I don't have a natural and a non-natural show happening. Okay. Like I only promote one lifestyle. And basically if you compete or try to do these shows and you know you're not natural, that's just crazy. And plus, here's another crazy part. Let's put this out there. The beautiful thing about these online shows, I'm not going to put anyone out on blast. I'll say there was a person, because you have to send in your pictures before I actually submit them to anyone. I see the pictures and videos before they go to it, before I send it to my judges. Right. Okay. If I see something that looks like, oh, this is going to look really bad on my federation and bad for all the athletes, I have every right to say that I'm not submitting this. And it did happen. A guy's pictures came through and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, and I don't have to have any justification of it because it represents my organization. And I knew, especially with our first online show ever, if I were to put this out there, because sometimes we're in this industry long enough, we know obvious.
So you're doing a little quality control before.
That's it. I can do quality control where I can't do that at a show. I don't see them turn on stage and we do urine testing and all that. And then you don't get results the day of anyways. Yeah. So if people want to be jerks and do natural shows and not be natural, they can they can do it. But I think most people have integrity. 99% of people that aren't natural wouldn't do a natural show.
Right. So let
But
me
obviously,
ask
there's
you,
always exceptions. Yeah.
ask another question. What are the pros? What are the rewards for the pros or the awards? Are they getting cash prizes or how does that work?
Well, not right now. No, there's no cash prize or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess right now with the IDFA, because the pro division isn't. It used to be bigger and more competitive, and we used to give cash prize and stuff. It's kind of become like just one of the divisions almost, like, right? But it's the
Mm-hmm.
elite of all of the IDFA athletes. But still, you're awarded as one of the best in the organization. To get a pro card is still not easy.
Right, exactly.
But right now, we're not doing cash prizes or anything like that. We're just, because they're paying the same entry fees as everyone else. There's another thing with the IDFA you'll notice when you enter a show. Since I don't have promoters in that, there's no real need for me to have a membership fee to make sure that all the outside shows that are the mine would be members, because there's no membership, because where I control everything anyways, right? So
Okay.
whatever that means. But we have no membership fee. When you see my entry fee, that's your fee.
Okay.
There's no membership fee for the year or nothing like that.
Okay. No,
So
yeah,
pros don't have to
that
pay
makes sense
membership
to
fee.
me from like the promoter side of it. That makes complete sense. I get what
Yeah,
you're saying.
because they have to have an idea. They have to make money off their promoters, right? So you get the
Right.
membership fees. So I, as the owner, make some money too, right?
Right, exactly.
But I don't need that.
I no, that's another live that going into all that side of it. But no, I get
Yeah,
that. So
I know
that is
what
a little break for the athletes, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it's a big break. Yeah, because sometimes people say, "Oh, my entry fees." Like, some people market their entry fees as being some price that seems low, but then when you enter, they're not. Oh, now you got to pay this fee for your membership. It's $120 a year, even if you get it in December, but it expires in January,
Yeah.
or whatever, right? And then you got a drug screening fee or testing or screening, whatever method they use, right? There's a fee on that, and then by the time it's all said and done, you paid a lot more than you thought. Not that it's a big expense, but just
Right.
let people know that they don't try to compare my entry fee the same, because I have all that fee in one shot. So
For sure.
it's not as crazy as you think. It ends up being cheaper. And that's another good thing about online shows. It's a hell of a lot cheaper to compete. Because even when the guys was telling me, hey, I didn't have to fly there or travel there, bring all my friends and family to buy tickets. I didn't have to get a hotel room and all these things, right?
Right. So let me ask you this. What would you think about this is around those dates that you are having your online show, it's kind of like soliciting, not really soliciting, but contacting even people in the industry that you've connected with and having them put like your online show in their flyers for athletes that are competing within like that 3 or 4 week window, so that they can then have the opportunity to register for the online show. I think that would be a really cool way to kind of like get more athletes that have already
with
involved.
other promoters.
Yeah, like if I was promoting a show at the beginning of May, shoot me some information and let me hand that pass that forward, because as a promoter, it's not hurting my numbers. They're still stepping on my stage in Florida, but I feel like as a promoter, that would give me a really fun and interesting opportunity to kind of pass along to my athletes, because I can be like, hey guys, you're in on my stage, but why don't you enter this online show? I would love for my champion to win this international online show too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that would be a really cool way to cross promote for you.
Well, it would be cool, yeah. But the problem is, many promoters think it's kind of a cutthroat business, unfortunately, right? Because people don't want to help each other grow. But it's almost like it's not. It shouldn't be taken so seriously, because this is like a sport of. This is like it's almost like a hobby sport. People do this for a passion and a hobby and a lifestyle. No one's making. Well, people make money because there's personal trainers and all that stuff. They're making money indirectly, but no one makes money. No one's a professional, like a competitor that this is my life, my living.
No.
So we take it too serious sometimes as promoters. And I understand, because everyone once one person starts doing that, then everyone starts doing that. Then everyone's doesn't want to share their athletes and promote to their athletes.
But I don't see the connection, because I have somebody standing on stage. I'll even shoot the pictures for them. enter this online show because it'll be fun for you. Like, I'm about the athletes just having a good time and getting exposure and competing. I mean,
well,
that's
then
what it's
shit,
all
start
about.
up an organization and we'll do that together.
But do you
Because I don't
see-
know. I don't know if I can find another promoter that thinks like you.
Okay, all right. There's got to
Or
be
maybe I
some
can.
out there.
Because if someone approached me with that, to be honest, even though I'm trying to sound open-minded, I would probably be like hesitant, like, okay, what's in it for me? Like you know what I mean? Like, why this? Like, what's trying? Because if he would get my flyers out, then obviously I'm getting awareness for almost for free, right? So maybe if I did cross promotion when I market them as their athletes entering my show, like Team OCB is coming to the show.
There you go.
And I market that way, and now you just market it to all of Canada. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have no problem cross promotion. That's true. Because the only thing I have a problem with is when the athletes don't do my show. Do anyone's show you want, but do my show too, please. Like,
right.
I've
I'm just
never
trying
once
to think
told
of
an
a
athlete
way that you can get athletes that there was no way they're going to like travel to Canada anyway. But if you can grab like a bunch of athletes, say from Florida, that would be a really fun opportunity for them to participate in something beyond just stepping on stage.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. Even for like trainers and stuff that have their team of athletes, they just meet up at the gym, take all the pictures, send them in. Like, it's kind of cool. Like it's not. I think what it is, you just got to break the barrier. Once one person does it, they start telling other people, right, that it wasn't so bad. Because no one likes change. I don't even like change. Like, it takes me a while to adapt to change, right? Like, it took me till December to put this out there online because I thought about it and overthought it. And change is tough. We don't like change. At least I don't. Some people just roll with it real quick change, right? Some people have to take it all in and weigh out all the cons and see what's going to happen. Watch other people get on board and see what they thought, and then jump in. So I guess it's just going to take a few people. Once more and more people start doing it, hopefully we get some momentum going.
Well, I love the idea. I think you're on the right path, and I think it was fun. You guys have to go over and check out his YouTube channel and find the video that he actually put together because it was really fun and entertaining to watch. And I like how you did the voiceover, like you were really like the commentator on stage, or you were like the MC on stage, and you were announcing their names and their weight class and the divisions.
Yeah, the next one will be better. The next one will be better because I at the time I didn't even know how to do voiceover. I actually tape myself with my video camera because I didn't realize I could just actually screen grab it on my video thing that I tape with. I could have just like talked right to my screen. I didn't know that, but yeah. So I made it really, really tough on myself to do that. But because the online thing gives me another cool thing about online shows that you can't do with the normal show. Since I get the results after and then I order all the medals, I can put on the back your name. Like, for example, first place, John Smith, lightweight bodybuilding on the back of the medal. Like, you can't put John Smith and then go to the show because you don't know John Smith's going to win, right? Mm-hmm. But once I do the show, I order all the medals and I ship them out, right? So because I'm pretty close to the place, I can get them within 24, 48 hours, all the medals, and ship them all out. So I order them and I give them the names of the places too. They put them on the medals as well. So it's kind of something you're never going to get. The only way you're going to get a medal with your name on it is online or go buy one yourself.
You heard that here, guys. Right.
With the IDFA, of course. Because right now I think people have done different versions of this, but no one's committed 100% like I have to doing a real online bodybuilding show. Like, I've been searched all over to see what people were doing. I see people say they're doing it, but then you look at what they did and it's not really online. It's kind of in between. It's thing, but no one's committed to putting together like a video and this and that and real awards and a real organization doing it. Like, no one's went on the limb like I am right yet. No one's crazy like me yet. Hey, I think people are going to become crazy.
They are. I stumbled across it, and I thought it was fantastic. So I wanted you to get on here tonight and kind of share it and share the opportunities with some of the athletes in my circle. And they all know that I would say, do this because it's an opportunity, and it's an opportunity to compete. And that's what we're always hungry for. So even if you're stepping on like a real stage, opportunities like this are super fun. You know what? And then you connect too with some other athletes because they're going to your page or they're watching and commenting on the videos, and it gives you a chance to meet new people in the bodybuilding community just through social media. And
in the reality, we're more on social media than we are on live life anyways. Almost, like it's pretty scary, right? We bring social media with us everywhere. We're online at all times. We all got our phones with us. We're all on Instagram and all this stuff. So just is just a natural progression to take your competing on to there too, because people love seeing their videos up and stuff like that and photos of the shows. Because that's
Absolutely.
what I think. Without the YouTube video that I do after, it would be quite the same. It's that YouTube video that I think that just puts it right over, right? Like knocks it out of the park. Like when that YouTube video came out, at first I was like, oh my God, I hope they like this, because it's kind of like crazy. But I had no one say anything negative. I had people like shocked how good it was. They were like shocked that I did this, because they thought I was just going to like post results up on the website and send them the medal.
Right.
That's what they thought that was going to be the extent of it. And it's like, I say, if I just do that, then there's no point to all this, because you really aren't going to experience the experience of competing, because you're just going to just get a placing. There's no anticipation. You're like, okay, great.
Right.
I'm third.
Right.
An email, Shaun sent me an email, so I was third.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that was exciting.
Right.
Right.
It was neat how you put it together.
I was going to say, oh yeah, no, it's really nice having like someone like you, because because every once in a while I do question myself, like when you're doing something new and out there, you do once in a while think, okay, is this going over well? Do people like this? But when I have an experienced competitor like you, you're not just like some person talking in the fitness industry who's never competed. You're like a high level competitor who is using a tough market for me to get. If someone like you is excited about this, it kind of validates or gets me excited about it as well. So I appreciate that. So
Of course. Yeah. I love supporting the natural bodybuilding community. And this was just something I was like, hey, let's talk about this, because I just think it's, it needed to be done. And I love that you're going to continue to do it, and you'll continue to get better, and you'll continue to think of new ideas. And, in 5 years, like, where will this be? Who knows? And you might get somebody, I kind of want to be involved, someone like that enjoys doing like the back end of it, like the editing and this and that, and they might want to team up with you and say, hey, let me help you, and suddenly you have like a little crew putting it all together. I mean, those are the type of things. Crazy. Yeah, those are. Well,
you could do more virtual, because with all your experience, you could probably do something like have your competitors like competing in a different area, and then other people competing in a different area, put them side by side on the screen. It's a crazy shit we could probably do, but that's like. I don't want to overwhelm myself with that, but these are possible, but we have to start somewhere, right? This is like possible. You have to have people believing and being creative.
Yes.
And not worrying about what people say. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I do get some people that say that this is ridiculous. Of course. I have some people like once in a while they're doing it on social media, but they won't like mess. No one ever said it to my face or emails me, but they'll post a post on underneath but that's when you know you're onto something. Because if someone feels they have to make a comment live on one of your posts, like this is ridiculous or what the hell is this, you're onto something, because they're angry I don't know what they're angry about. And if you don't like it, just don't do it. I don't go around posting. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
The haters, they're out there. I get it too, and it's you just take it and you do it.
Who she thinks she is doing a talk show? I'm just joking.
Right. It's true. Yes.
But no. I know when I first started back in like 2005, this would really bother me. I didn't like to hear anything negative. I had I would lose sleep. And it still bothers me, to be honest with you, right? But I can get over it really quickly. Like at first I hear it and like, oh my God, and move on. Before I would lose sleep, and I'd almost want to talk to the guy and say, why'd you say this?
It comes down ultimately to the athletes who you highlighted and who you made feel a certain way, and who had the opportunity, even if it was just a handful of athletes. Like, that's the joy and that's the accomplishment that you can feel. Like, for me, that was always paramount. Like, that was always the ultimate goal, was just to give an opportunity and do the best that I could to give it to them. And even just something like this, like, I love the opportunity to be able to have you on my show and highlight what you're doing. Like, that makes me feel good. So I
appreciate it too. Yeah. Like, this is, people don't understand. Well, the more older I guess, or the more and I don't know if it's the more I've been in the industry or the older I'm getting, but I do appreciate the journey way more than I used to. I know when I first started, I was all about the competition. I wanted to win, and I'm training my hardest to win, not training my hardest to have a good time.
How did your journey even begin? Like, why bodybuilding? How?
And that's what I thought to myself too, because I'm like a little guy, like I'm like small. Okay, I started working out weights because I was so tiny. Like I was there's a thing called a 98-pound weakling. I was the 80-pound weakling. I was in grade 9 and weighed 80 pounds and wrestled at 84 pounds and under without cutting weight. That's how small I was. So I was that true guy. So I started working out just to build up my self-esteem because I felt like I was so tiny. I was always like little but strong, or what do you want to call it? Like little skinny guy, but it had these biceps or whatever, right? So I got into it, but then so I've been working out for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'd watch you, like all of us, we'd read those muscle mags and think that was possible, that we were going to do this, because we didn't really talk openly about. There was no such thing as natural bodybuilding. There's no such thing as talking about
enhanced,
not natural, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I did all that, but then I think around 1998, so I would have been 26, 27 or so, somewhere there. I found out about natural bodybuilding. So there's guys at the supplement stores. I always bought supplements. And then I found these guys were competing. There was nothing in Canada. We didn't have natural bodybuilding in Canada at the time. So there's these guys that competed in shows. And I saw their pictures up on the wall, because that's back then. You know, supplement store, the people that worked there, they put their pictures up and all that stuff. You see their pictures, like, oh my God, you guys look crazy.
Right.
I thought, I can't do this. There's no way. So I went to one of the shows. And then when you're watching the show, you realize, oh, this is natural bodybuilding. They really, these guys are kind of built like me. They're shredded to hell. They're not all that big.
Right. It's obtainable. It's not like untouchable.
Yes, it's obtainable. Right. And all different body types can compete, because there's all different levels and different body types. It's a crazy world. With my body type, I'm not going to get to the high level of natural bodybuilding, because there's these guys, these genetic freak guys, like I'm not even close. But because they have light weights and all that stuff, I compete at lightweight. I just come in extremely shredded and all that stuff. And so I competed my first show in 2000 in NGA. So
that's awesome.
Based on seeing those guys and being inspired by what they did and finding out about natural bodybuilding for the first time ever, I was like, what the hell is this? I love it.
And here you are now.
I had no aspirations of this, but I've always been a big thinker. Like I overthink things, but I overthought things into an organization, right? Sometimes you overthink things and don't do anything because you're thinking too much, right? But I overthought it, and here I am doing online bodybuilding, which people think is nuts. So people thought IDFA was nuts, to be honest with you. In 2005, when I started, people were like, you can't compete with stuff like the IFBB and stuff. You're crazy. You're not going to make any money doing this. Anyways. Yeah.
It's about your brand and about what you're passionate about and what you represent, and like you said, you have a really great local following, which is a huge part of it. So there you go. And now you're gonna have a Florida following.
I love Florida. I'm like, if I didn't have any reason, if I had no reason to, I'd like just pick up and go. I'm coming to Florida.
You in half the. Our gates are open.
I went to Daytona. I went to Daytona in high school, and that was fun. I don't remember much, but it was fun. I'm just joking.
Good old Daytona. Let's see here.
We
covered. I just want to make sure I covered all our slides here. So I have your 3 shows that are coming up this year, and there may be more. We're waiting it out to see what happens with the COVID.
There'll be more anyways. I just don't want to overwhelm people, because online you can compete anywhere. I don't have to have because before I'd have to promote BC and Ontario and Alberta, because you'd be in those areas to get to know about it. But right now, if you want to do a show, there's shows, because they're open to anyone. Okay. But in September I want to have one. I have some cool ideas, but I want to see how these all go first before I take it to the next level. We'll have another interview about that next level.
Next level. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I got a couple ideas, but I don't know if it's possible. Maybe you can help me.
You could run it by me. I'll give you my thoughts. Anything's possible. Anyway. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, but I want to leave you with any last words, because just to make sure you get everything that you want to say out and in front of the viewers. So.
Well, I probably said about a few times during this interview anyways, it seems crazy, but it's not that crazy. Just give it a shot. The online bodybuilding contest I'm referring to, they're not as crazy as they seem. Give that video a look at, because usually I win people over by that video I made about the why compete in an online bodybuilding show. Usually people go over there, they're like, oh, now that makes sense. So check that out and check me out at idfa.ca. And just thanks so much for having me on here and helping get the word out. And I'm showing some support with this crazy venture we're on here.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure everybody, you go check out his YouTube, see how he really put the athletes first, gave them something really, like you said, gave them something to work for. And I listened to like their transformation stories, which is how the video starts. And it was so powerful. And it really helped them get through COVID because it kept them focused and it gave them something to work for. And that was pretty amazing.
No, I love the transformation. I thought that was like one of the most exciting parts, having them, because I've done transformation at all the shows live, but I kind of read the story, or the host reads the story, then they come out. But for some reason I said, okay, yeah, just read your story and send it. But then with them reading it is like, okay, that's way better than me reading it by far. So even for my live shows, I'm going to have them put their video up on the screen, because them telling the story is so much more impactful than some dude like me telling their story. I'm just telling your story. Right. You telling your story is what reaches people, right? Like them talking, it's like, oh my.
Yeah.
Because it's their story, it's not mine.
Yeah, it was awesome. So everyone's going to go check that out. And thank you again for coming on tonight, and have a great evening. We lucked out. We're in the same time zone, so that worked out well tonight.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, awesome.
All right.
No, thanks again for having me on here.